Hey guys, just wanted to hit you up. Been on the road. Was out to Oklahoma, meeting up with some good people, and then basically came back. Ended up getting a little sick, slight cough. Kind of made it difficult to do any type of filming without coughing and kind of ruining things. One of the things I want to hit you guys up about is the ESG that's coming out in the Department of Justice with their Environmental Justice Office. What people need to understand with the environmental social governance, that's basically incentivizing companies to go green. And what I mean by when I say go green is that also means the food industry. So they want food to not be, they want it to be plant-based or 3D printed type of food. Roll that in with crypto-based digital currency, and that's what's going to control what you end up purchasing. So for example, in the future, you go into the store, you purchase something, they will end up starting to rack and stack a social score on you, just like they would in China. That system's already in place. They just have to hit the on switch. They already tested it out in China, and they use it on 1.7 billion people. So think about that. Now, how it ties in, the food industry right now and the banks are being incentivized to go green, because if they don't, they're going to come down with sanctions on them. And what happens with that is, once those banks go green, then there's other things they want them to get rid of. So for example, there's a friend of mine, he has a good buddy of his who basically had his banking shut down by one of the biggest banks in the United States, all because he ran a tactical store. He was one of the first guys that ever started selling Gore-Tex jackets back in the day. He was given 24 hours to find a new banking solution, even though he had stellar credit, had been with this bank for decades. I want you to think about that. In addition to that, farmers who are producing beef, poultry, or anything like that are now being looked at, and they don't want to extend them lines of credit. And some of the things that, like one of the families got hit up with, is because they were family owned, they weren't diverse enough. Because they were producing beef, well, that's not part of the new green agenda that's being pushed through the United Nations and the United States government. So these are some things you need to think about moving forward, because when the crypto-based digital currency comes online, they're going to start not just penalizing, you because you buy something, but it's going to affect your whole family, and it's also going to affect how you live, what you eat, and how you go about your day. So these are some things I wanted to hit up real quick, because what most people don't understand as we go forward with this is this really troubles me when I say this. Talking to a lot of friends, this is something that we never saw the United States going through. Especially if you served in the military, you never saw this happening. And to watch both political parties go along with this, along with every government in the world, you need to stop and sit back and ask yourself, why are these politicians letting it happen? Well, it's because they're all bought and paid for it. All right, that's how it works. The RNC, the DNC, they're not on your side, they're not on our side. A lot of people think if President Trump is to get back in, that it's going to bring everything back to life. Let me tell you something. Right now, the damage that's been done to global manufacturing and to the United States, period, is so bad. Right now, for example, they won't turn on that Keystone Pipeline. Because they won't turn on the Keystone Pipeline, we're down to roughly, I think the last thing I heard today was 2 days worth of diesel in the United States. Truckers don't even want to. A lot of them are being warned, if you're driving past the Midwest going towards the East Coast, because of a lot of the fuel shortages out there, some of the shortages that are going on with some of the stations for diesel, that if you don't have enough fuel to get there and get back, you might not want to go. Now imagine you're driving a semi. What are you going to do? Are you going to chance getting stranded out in the middle of nowhere or off the side of a freeway because you thought that load was good enough? A lot of truckers are now rethinking the routes they're taking, and a lot of them, this is mainly an East Coast thing right now, because a lot of the restrictions and regulations that are being placed upon our trucking industry. So these are some things you need to think about. I highly recommend you make sure you're stocked up on beans, bullets, and bandages. And the reason I'm telling you this is your beans are your food and water. Your bullets, that's weaponry and anything that you would need to defend your home. Okay, have home protection to protect your family. And then bandages, if there's any type of medical supplies you need to get what you can, because a lot of that stuff was coming from China. 90% of our medical supplies, it wasn't just the medicine, it was the supplies themselves. And a lot of our war stock has been basically just signed over in the Lend-Lease program to send tons of weapons over to Ukraine. Biden just signed that in. That means a lot of our war stock is being depleted from here in the United States and being sent overseas. How they're replacing it, I don't know, because right now off the coast of China, all the ships are sitting and doing what? Parked. They're not picking anything up because China's still under a lockdown. So these are some things you need to think about. Like I said, some of you guys know I got the store. Just go to anchorstrategiesllc.com. You can hit the shop and go in there. I do have some medical supplies I can get a hold of, but I can tell you myself, supplies are getting pretty tough to get, even for guys like me who are trying to help and get some stuff out to people. I highly recommend, though, look into all those three type of items, especially the food. If you've got ammo, I would focus more on making sure you've got the other things you're going to need in case of an emergency, because if the diesel runs out and trucks can't get food and medical supplies out, one of the things you need to understand is this: it'll be 3 days, or what we used to say is 9 meals to anarchy. People will go into a panic. So anyways, start prepping. Those of you who are, just keep stacking it to the rafters. Those of you who haven't, you need to start taking heed and listen to those who are trying to tell you. If you don't sense something's wrong, your spidey sense isn't tingling, then you need to take a look in the mirror and understand what's going on and look around you. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys take care, and this is Danger, and I'm out.